Hey guys, Civilord here, back again with another action figure review. Today I'll be taking a look at the Thundercats Ultimates Monkian, brought to us by the fine folks over at Super7, and not my good buddy Evil Villain, unlike the majority of the Thundercats Ultimates we've been looking at on the channel as of late. He held on to his Monkian. I actually got this guy via Amazon for regular retail price, if you can believe that. He was $60 for a while, but he went back down to $54.99. I was able to pick him up thanks to a $50 gift card I got from my grandparents this past holiday season. So shout out to them for the hookup on that. It just makes sense that I bought the Monkey with money from my grandpa and grandma, who I unfortunately didn't get to see this past holiday season because my grandma was battling pneumonia, or as I like to call it, pneumonia. But I did thankfully get to see my grandpa, who I don't get to see as much as I would like to, and since he is battling leukemia nowadays, I would like to see him a lot more, so we'll see how that goes. But yes, I love both my grandparents and wish I could spend more time with them. But fortunately, I am disabled and can't drive. Otherwise, I'd make that happen. But at any rate, enough sad news. Or bad news? Question mark. Why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all Monkian has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with a pair of grip hands with the appropriate hinges for holding weapons. The up and down ones. That said, if you're a weirdo, he does come with the other ones too. Right here. These hinge in and out, which these are so tightly clenched, I guess you could make them pass as fists, but when you make a fist, your thumb wraps around your four fingers, and no, this guy's clearly not doing that. Either way, it's fine. I'm probably not going to use those, but there. He also comes with this kind of snarly head. His mouth is closed, but you can still see his teeth and his long 80s rocker hair. And biker helmet, the little spike on the front. Why is that way? Why is it facing down? Shouldn't it be facing up so we can charge you with it? If it's facing down, it'll fall onto his nose and give him a nosebleed. He also has a Billy Goat goatee going on there, so that's pretty cool. That said, I'm torn between which head to use. I don't know if I should use this snarly head or this open mouth, like, death metal scream head, because both are sick, but kind of hard to choose. It's like picking your favorite kid. I mean, you want to pick the one that behaves, but they're still your kids. That said, he does come with a flail. I think, not a mace, a flail. The real metal chain. And you can swing it around like so, if you're mentally 5 years old like me. But he can hold that pretty well. He also comes with a shield with his face on it, because that, kids, is what you call branding. Be funny if there was like a bunch of shields like this, but I think he's the only one that's got it. And if I'm not mistaken, does this thing like shoot stuff out of it in the show, the Thundercats show? I haven't seen the old Thundercats show in a long time, so I don't know a whole heck of a lot, but I think it shoots like cannonballs out of it or something. I don't know. That said, if it doesn't, he does have a rifle to shoot you. That's double-barreled. So there you go. A pretty cool looking rifle too. Very, I mean, it predates it by a number of years, but Halo looking. Or even like something Demona from Gargoyles would use. I could see her rocking something like this. Probably will fit because it is 7-inch scale. Oh! How thoughtful of them. I just realized this. It doesn't have a trigger on it. Or a trigger guard. So you can get it in the grip hand just fine. Well, that's pretty cool. Huh. I just noticed that. Interesting. Thought I might have scratched it doing that, but no. So let's take a closer look at the Monkian. And I gotta tell you, between this guy and Slythe, I'm torn as to who my favorite evil mutant is. I like Slythe a lot. He's the meatball chungus and everything, but Monkian, well, first of all, he's a freaking monkey. And second, he's just gnarly looking. He looks like he ain't taking crap from nobody. He makes the flying monkeys from The Wizard of Oz look like a bunch of cucks, let me tell you what. So, getting into his articulation, his head will rotate, and he's got a pretty good double ball peg in there. That allows him to look up and down a little bit. If I pop his head off for a minute, it's not very difficult. Ooh. It's not very difficult to get off. But look at that. Really good range. And you know why? Big ball in the base of the neck. And, you know, not the biggest ball going into his head, but he's got a big ball at the base of the neck. That allows for a ton of extra range. When it comes to double ball pigs, you want big balls. Big, chunky balls. And decent sized pegs. So, that's what she said. But as far as the rest of his articulation is concerned, shoulders will go out. Actually, not too bad. He'll swing forward and back. He's got a bicep swivel. Single jointed elbow. Can't really get 90 out of that, but you know, almost can. He does have rotation as well. He's got swivel hinge wrists. And then he also has an ab crunch, which unfortunately doesn't get the most range. It mostly moves forward like a notch. Like one notch forward. If that, yeah, that's about as far forward as it goes. Feels like it's made out of solid PVC though. This is really tough, like hard plastic if it's not just straight PVC. But if we bend him back, he can get about that far back. Not very far, but a little bit. So there you go. I mean, I kind of like him being hunched forward myself, but probably just leave him in neutral for now. He's got a waist twist. It's a little hindered by his belt there. Doesn't seem to want to go past a certain point, so I'm not going to force it. And then as far as his hips go, I'll kick forward and back. Out to the side. Back down. He's got a thigh cut. Single jointed knee. A little hindered by his wrappings and knee pads and whatnot, but it does work. He does have, is it a swivel below the knee? Yes, he's got like a boot cut, essentially. And then he also has hinge in the foot with a rocker. And his big old monkey feet. So he doesn't need a stand, but he does have pickles if you want to use one. But there you go, man. He is easily one of my favorites from this whole Thundercats Ultimates line. If I ever do like a top 10 Thundercats Ultimates video, which I might do, if you guys want to see something like that, because I don't imagine there's a lot of other characters coming that I am like hankering for. I mean, we got the mighty Mongor, and we all know he's the best one, right? Even though some people have been breaking that figure, apparently. Knock on wood, that doesn't happen to mine. But either way, I love this figure. I think he's awesome. I can't thank my grandparents enough for helping me pick him up. So with that being said, it's time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is good old Monkian alongside his fellow evil mutants, the servants of Mum-Ra. We have good old Jackalman, still repping the Mattel Thundercats line, for now anyways, as well as good old Meatball Chungus himself, Slythe, who we took a look at yesterday, so please check that out if you haven't already. Really appreciate it if you did. But yeah, of the three, it's a toss-up between Monkian and Slythe for who is my favorite of the evil mutants, but I still like Jackalman. You know, he's got that Mattel quality I like, so, you know, there is that, as well as fixed legs, if you didn't notice that yesterday. A little bit of heat and some popping and swapping, fix that right up, although be careful when you do that. It's a very tight fit, but getting the two of them out of here. Slythe is practically a tripod, so you can just stand right up. We can make way for our two regulars, the Mythic Legions for the Mandibolith, right there, and the infamous Kurt Little Spawn, who not used to having to stand figures like this. I'm used to using my backdrop to cheat. I'd say they're about the same. Pretty close to it anyway. So with that being said, it is time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and for those of you who haven't been paying attention throughout the duration of this review, first of all, what have you been doing for the past almost 10 minutes? Second, I like this figure. I like him a lot. Not only because he's a freaking monkey, but also because if all Super 7 Ultimates were built like good old Monkian, here I don't think there'd be a heck of a lot to complain about other than lack of range. Yeah, it's not perfect, but at the end of the day, he comes with just the right amount of accessories to make it feel like it's worthwhile, and he is posable and or tight enough to feel like he is a quality figure in hand. This guy feels great in hand, and that is my number one thing when it comes to action figures. Even over, sculpted paint sometimes, because if it looks good but feels like arse in hand, what is the point? Why are you trying so hard? So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.